Hi, I'm Brenda. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I appreciate if you'd subscribe, if you just hit that subscribe button. And by all means, leave a comment down below. If you have a question, I will try to answer it if it's something that I know. And if you have any pointers you can give me, I'm always willing to take them. Today, I was going to do a little tour of my collection and talk about the problems I've had with this and that and the successes and whatnot. But then I went to my weekly run to Home Depot, which is my go-to. And I run up there once a week now because if you're a plant lover and you've been trying to buy plants, and you understand that there's like plants are scarce. I mean, trying to find anything right now is almost impossible. So I went and I did find a couple really nice things. And the reason that I changed my mind about the topic of the video is because as I was coming out of the store, I was putting my things in my car, and a lady walked up to me, a nice lady named Judy. Hi, Judy. And Judy, she saw my peperonia. I bought this today. And she said, I've had so many of those, and I've had a few of those, and I they keep dying on me and whatnot. And I said, and we talked about it, and and one of my pieces of advice, things that I've learned recently, because I've killed a few peperonias and I love them. But what I do now is I bottom water. So I wanted to talk about ways to water your plants, and especially the succulents and plants that you don't think of as succulents. Peperonia, I think of as a succulent because if you water it it's so specific in the way that you have to water it. So I treat it like a succulent, even if it's not. And what I do is I bottom water. So this hasn't had any water. It's dry as a bone. I just got it from the store. So I'm going to sit it in. This is a bowl of water. And you can sit it. Usually I would do this at the sink, but I'm just going to sit it in there. And I'm going to let it suck up some water while I talk to you. Hopefully by the time, see how it's rocking, maybe by the time we finish talking, it'll suck up enough water that it stops. And I've decided, and of course my succulents, this is a jade plant, and this is a serious succulent. And this baby will die on you quick if you overwater it. I've had this for 3 months. I've only watered it once. I just watered it the other day for the first time. And I gave it a good soaking. But from now on, I will bottom water it. I would soak it in a bowl and let it, because when you bottom water it, the roots are only going to take what it wants. It doesn't matter how long you leave. You can forget that. You forget about it. Say, oh God, I left it there, it's been in there an hour. The roots are only, not the leaves, the roots are only going to take what they want. They're not going to try to suck up everything in that bowl. And so that's a good thing for these plants. That's what I do with, that's my jade. And these are my smaller peperonias. Same thing. As I said last video, I've killed so many of these. But what I've done, I finally learned to bottom water. Because with the other ones, as soon as I would water them, after I watered them once or twice, I would start to see them slowly declining on me. And I watered these like several days ago, and they're still perky and perfect. So I think I found a solution for them, just to bottom water. And when you bottom water, like I worried that it wouldn't be, get to the whole plant, but it did. It first of all, it felt like I sat it in a bowl and it watered like probably up to here, and then it just slowly, by the end of the day, I could feel moisture in the top, but it wasn't soggy or wet. So it took just what it needed, and they seem to be happy with that. Now, as far as watering, and see that I consider these are my snake plants. Sansevieria, I think they're called. Anyway, these are my snake plants. Well, some of them. I have, about 10. But I bottom water these too, because I consider these to be succulent. Because for one thing, a snake plant doesn't like to be for you to pour water over top of them anyway. You have to water, if you're going to water on the top, you want to water around the sides. You know, you want to water around the sides. You know, you don't want to, you know, get water on the plant. But if you just sit this in some water, like see how this stopped rocking? Look at that. It stopped rocking. Why? Because it's sucking up that water. See, before it was like, I can't even get it to rock now because it's sucking up that water from the bottom. And that seems to make these succulents really happy, makes me happy. Now, as far as, I want to show you just how to water. These aren't succulents. These, I just bought these from Home Depot and they're really, really dry. And one of them I'm going to have to repot because the pot is cracked. That's not one of these. So, let me show you. Let me get this out of the way. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. What I'm going to do is just show you how, what you should do when you water your plant. You should go around the plant. Around. Don't just shove it in there and water from one side. Go around the plant. You know, spin it around and let it get a good soaking. Now, this is not a succulent. This is one of my arrowhead plants. And it's really dry. This is one I just bought. And it's really dry. So I'm going to thoroughly soak that. I'm going to sit that over there for a minute. But that was basically what I wanted to talk about today. Bottom watering is a great thing. Now look at that. See, this pot is not shaking at all because this plant sucked up half the water that was in there. And I think it's pretty happy. Well, it's pretty dry, so I'm going to just leave it in there for a while because this thing is so dry. And that's another thing. You know when your plants are dry, that's another way to tell. When you pick up your plant and it just lifts up like there's styrofoam in it, and it just, you know, it's probably pretty dry. Because once you water it, it gets heavy. It gets weight on it. See, this is starting to get some weight on it. And I'm just going to let that soak in here for just a little longer. Let it suck up some more water because it's really dry. I mean, this poor baby. You know, I guess whoever the gardening attendants from the garden center, whoever, they didn't water these plants this week. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. Next time I'm going to talk about, I'm going to take you around and show you some of my plants. I've got way too many. And I'm going to show you my successes, my failures, and my still hope that they'll live. So until then, please do remember to subscribe. Until next time.